Former members of the Republican Party have united to launch a rebellious offensive aimed at defeating the sitting president from their own party. They call themselves the Lincoln Project, in honor of Abraham Lincoln's legacy. Recently, ex-President Trump, known for his strong and committed personality, was seen crying. Surprisingly, this happened after watching a parody ad from the Lincoln Project. Despite his image, even the man with the distinctive hairstyle couldn't hold back his emotions.
God said, I need a corrupt man who is above the law and immune from justice. So God made a dictator. God said, I need a man who will use violence to seize power. So God made a dictator. God said, I need a man whose followers will call black white, call evil good, and call criminals hostages. So God made a dictator.
This incident has sparked much discussion, leaving many curious about the content of the ad that made Trump cry. The ad contained a strong and clear message. God said, I need a corrupt man who is above the law and immune to justice, so God made a dictator. I need a man who uses violence to seize power, so God made a dictator. I need a man whose followers call black white, call evil good, and turn criminals into heroes, so God made a dictator. God sought someone who had failed at everything except deceit and empty promises. This person would live lavishly and convince struggling people that he is their savior, and thus Trump appeared. Hey there, dear viewer. Don't forget that if you want to stay up to date with everything happening in this delicate and surprising world, you need to subscribe and activate the bell so you don't miss any new updates. That way, you can also become part of this community. However, the Lincoln Project now stands as a symbol of democracy, fighting to protect fundamental rights and freedoms. Although the battle against Trumpism has just begun, the Lincoln Project has established a war room far from Washington, D.C., led by Steve Schmidt and Rick Wilson, former Republican operatives. The group has launched an unrelenting campaign against Trump, using the same tactics they once employed against Democratic opponents, including hard-hitting ads. An ad called Regret features comedian David Cross, listing Trump's flaws, including racism, sexism, narcissism, and condescension towards Nazis. This ad has become famous for a shocking moment that leaves viewers stunned. Amid the chaos and calamity, a voice cries out in desperation, expressing deep regret for ever voting for Trump. This moment is so powerful it sends chills down spines, leaving viewers in awe, as if the heavens themselves opened to condemn past mistakes. It's hard to believe what you see when witnessing this cinematic work of regret unfold before your eyes.
I am starting to regret my vote for Trump. I know.
Another type of ad is strategically designed to unsettle a single individual, the president himself. For example, one such ad focuses directly on Trump and highlights his infamous Tulsa rally in June. It confronts Trump with the consequences of his actions and uses carefully chosen phrases like sad, low energy, and weak. The ad not only reflects Trump's behavior, but also casts a shadow over his presidency itself. It's a powerful reflection on the highest office in the nation, revealing cracks in its foundation. Perhaps it is this relentless portrayal that strikes a nerve, bringing tears to the man behind the title. After all, facing the truth, even through an ad, can be a bitter pill to swallow. The ad's poignant message resonates like thunder as it directly addresses Trump, leaving a lasting impact. You can't measure up. You are sad, weak, and low energy, like your presidency, like you. Even Trump supporters have been adding their voices to the growing opposition against him. One critic noted that over the past 4 years, Trump has done nothing but insult almost everyone, and now it's his turn to face criticism.
He's a war hero because he was captured. I like people that weren't captured, okay? I hate to tell you.
He's a war hero because he was captured. I like people who weren't captured, okay? No, Donald, you are wrong. They are heroes because they were captured. The founders of the Lincoln Project knew they had struck a chord when Trump responded with his typical Twitter rants and media outbursts, predictably labeling their organization as the Losers Project. These savvy political strategists consider themselves experts on Trump, carefully anticipating the president's missteps and amassing a vast collection of material to be released at the perfect moment. A recent ad from the Lincoln Project titled Honor skillfully contrasted images of honorable military service with Trump's derogatory comments about members of the armed forces. The Lincoln Project, a group of former Republican strategists who have turned against President Donald Trump, has been making waves in the political world with their impactful ads and social media campaigns. The timing of one of their ads, titled Honor Their Sacrifice, was coincidental as it was released just before The Atlantic reported on Trump's alleged comments about fallen soldiers. The report caused public outrage, prompting the Lincoln Project to respond swiftly with a call to action. The group urged its followers on Twitter to share photos of true heroes with the hashtag #WeRespect. They aimed to highlight the true nature of heroism and show Trump what real heroes look like. Many people, including veterans and their families, responded to the call and shared heartfelt stories and photos of their loved ones who have served in the military. The hashtag quickly became the top political trending topic on Twitter in September. When asked about using harsh tactics and language, Floridian strategist Wilson was unconcerned. He responded with, "Who cares?" He clarified that he was not running for president and that they were simply responding to Trump's history of insults, from Gold Star families to the disabled. Steve Schmidt, a veteran political operative and vocal critic of Trump, reminded the group of this history on MSNBC. The Lincoln Project has continued to release ads targeting Trump and his allies, including an ad called Parasite, aimed at South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham. The ad accuses Graham of being a political parasite who has lost touch with the people he represents. It features footage of Graham praising Trump and then contradicting himself in the past, highlighting his constant shifting stance on various issues. The group's tactics have been controversial, with some accusing them of being too aggressive and divisive. However, the Lincoln Project argues that they are fighting for the soul of the Republican Party and the country as a whole. They believe Trump is a danger to democracy and must be defeated in the upcoming elections. Only time will tell if their efforts will be successful, but they have certainly made a mark on the political landscape. As Graham sat in front of his television, his eyes were glued to the screen as he watched in horror and disgust at the images before him. A group of wild animals feasting on the flesh of their prey. What made it even more unsettling was the voiceover mocking his unwavering loyalty to President Trump. For years, Graham had been one of Trump's most ardent supporters, defending him at every turn and never wavering in his loyalty. But as he watched the animals tearing into their food, he couldn't help but wonder if he too was just a pawn in a game, blindly following a leader without truly understanding the consequences. The voiceover continued, mocking him with questions about his moral compass and his willingness to turn a blind eye to the injustices and lies perpetuated by the president. Graham felt a knot form in his stomach as he realized that maybe, just maybe, he had been wrong all along. The images on the screen became more grotesque, and the voiceover grew louder until finally Graham couldn't take it anymore. He turned off the TV, feeling overwhelmed and unsure of what to do next. As he sat in the darkness, he couldn't help but wonder if it was time to reevaluate his beliefs and take a stand for what was right, even if it meant going against the man he once revered. It's time for decency. It's time for Joe Biden. The leaders of the Lincoln Project gathered to discuss their ad strategy for key states like Florida, Arizona, and Pennsylvania. Stuart Stevens, a seasoned advisor with experience in 5 presidential campaigns, suggested a focused approach, treating each state as a separate gubernatorial race. He warned against trying to tackle too many issues at once, emphasizing the importance of efficient resource allocation. The founders quickly decided to address the recent revelation in Bob Woodward's book, Rage, which showed that Trump knew about the severity of the coronavirus in February but downplayed its threat. They produced a concise video and tweeted the hashtag #TrumpKnew. Within moments, the hashtag became the top trending topic. Filmmakers Fisher Stevens, Kareem Amer, and Amy Redford arrived to document the project's progress. Stevens, an outspoken liberal activist, had initially considered creating anti-Trump ads on his own, but joined the Lincoln Project instead. Reflecting on the project's relentless content production, Stevens realized that every idea he conceived had already been executed. He marveled at the constant stream of content the group produced, wondering who these people were. Mike Madrid, one of the founders, joined the Republican Party as a young Latino, hoping to empower his community in the late 90s. Despite his dedication to the party's cause, Madrid became disillusioned in 2016 when colleagues and friends found ways to justify supporting Trump even after he disparaged immigrants. Schmidt publicly broke from the party in 2018 and used Twitter to denounce the administration's policy of separating migrant families at the border. He compared it to humanity's worst abuses in history, including slavery, and expressed concern that the current GOP represented a danger to democracy. Similarly, Galen's apprehensions about Trump grew as he watched the president deploy unidentified officers against Black Lives Matter protests. The only millennial founder and political strategist of the Lincoln Project, Ron Steslow, sees the unchecked use of federal power at the state level as a clear departure from Republican principles. He highlights the harsh reality facing his generation, the great truth that democracy is not guaranteed. Now we know that the Lincoln Project prides itself on its remarkable ability to produce a constant stream of hard-hitting and provocative content, sometimes hostile. Prepare yourselves and stay focused. Keep up with everything in the next episode so you won't be caught off guard. That's all for now. Don't forget to subscribe, like the video, share with your friends, and leave us your opinion in the comments. With nothing more to say, see you in the next installment. Goodbye.